are so funny. You're trying to get me to do this stupid shit. And
she just whispered, "I'm a bad bitch," for anyone who didn't hear. Stop. 420.
I'm lit at Disney.
And the kids asleep in the bath.
There we go. A ball sack station. That's what a business owner looks like. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tattoo Homewreckers. This is a podcast where we talk about tattoos, life, and everything in between. And yeah, I definitely did just roll out of bed. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching us, we're literally drinking our first coffees of the day.
Yes, I haven't even had a sip of my tea yet.
Yes.
Because he's piping hot in this custom Calilu's tattoos.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of your custom Calilu's tattoos cup, look, your shirt also kind of matches your cup.
Custom made by yours truly.
It's almost like we own a business or something.
Isn't that crazy?
It's pretty.
I realized the mic was crazy far out.
Honestly, I would dare to say owning a business is just as lit as being at Disney.
Ooh.
Yeah. I said it.
I agree. Speaking of which, I've had Disney pictures coming up on my memories.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because we just look so happy.
Of course. And Scooby-Doo. We saw
the troll lady.
Yeah, the troll lady. I'm not even really into trolls, but it's just nice.
King Julius?
Yes.
Julian. King Julian?
King Julian the lemur. So cute. And those photos are hilariously adorable.
They are hilariously adorable. What's great is I just look so happy, and I had flu B? Because I was I'm kind of sick, you guys.
Yeah, totally.
I don't understand.
I forgot about that. You were dying on that trip.
Yeah, I was fucking dying. But when you look at pictures, you're like, holy shit, look how cute and happy you look. All smiles.
Totally.
This is why you know that photographs can be lies and social media are also lies.
All of it's lies.
But it made me think about what you were saying yesterday with when you're going through rough times, how you like to take pictures of yourself because then you can look back later and be like, but look, I still looked like me.
Absolutely.
And I was thinking about that, looking at those, to be you would have no idea that I was genuinely, I was hurting so bad during that trip.
For sure, dude, for sure. There's so many photos that I look back at and I just know that at that point in time I wasn't feeling human. Mm-hmm. So it does kind of ground me and humanize me. I get to look back and just see the resilience of it all.
Yes.
Because a lot of people can't tell. And I can't tell either. It's remembering oh shit, yeah, I was really not doing well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. What does your gender feel like today, Lou?
I didn't just wake up, but my brain feels like I just woke up because I haven't had coffee yet, and I went straight into working on stuff and then getting set up for the podcast. Mm-hmm. So I don't amorphous. Yeah. I'm just I don't know, just floating in the ether. Mm-hmm. That's what I currently feel like. I don't feel tethered or connected to anything. I'm just what?
Jellyfish.
No, because a jellyfish still has a body. I don't even feel like I have a body. I just feel like I'm just floating.
Yeah.
Just
a germ in the world.
It's because today is meant to be a potato day.
It is.
For people that don't know that, if you're a neurospicy individual, it's days when you're nope, I'm supposed to sleep and I'm supposed to watch TV and I'm not supposed to get off the fucking couch.
Totally.
And you're not supposed to do anything because you're on 2% battery.
Yep.
And you're just supposed to be resting. But we have a crazy couple of months coming up. I mean, we're already kind of in the middle of them, but they're just going to get progressively busier and crazier.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of content we need to film for the studio.
Yeah.
So we don't get a potato day. That's just not how that works right now.
Yeah.
So I have to tell my brain and my
one
body.
Of those, dig deep days for sure. Mm-hmm. Where it's we just got to dig deep and then get it done.
Yeah.
And find time for the gym and figure it out.
100%. But that meant that if we were going to record the podcast today, you got out of bed and I was right now, let's do this thing.
Well, this is literally the hair that I woke up in. So if you guys are looking at how insane this is.
Look at how good her hair looks.
I don't know.
She looks like a Victorian lady with it's the bouffant. It's just soft and whimsy.
Oh, I'm glad
I think it's amazing.
Bouffant and soft and whimsy. I'm kind of getting I don't know, The way I would describe myself right now would probably be unhinged diva. That's what I would. But like,
but how is that different than normal?
That's true. I'm normally an unhinged androgynous diva. Not androgynous, but
yeah.
Diva. I'm feeling very androgynous right now.
Amazing. What does your gender feel like? Androgynous.
I would say.
Androgynous.
If I had to explain it.
Yeah, that is the point of that question. Is for you to explain it.
If I had to answer that question with an answer, my answer then would be explaining the answer to that question.
Okay. If you had to give words
to a question. Oh no.
You keep answering.
Okay, I will keep going then. Lou's gonna check on some technical difficulties, I suppose. Yep. Oh, okay. Anyways, my gender today kind of feels like a blank canvas with the teensiest, tiniest, cutest little green dot in almost center frame. Not exactly the center of the canvas. I would say it's like noticeably off center, but that kind of adds to the charm of it. So yeah, just a blank, empty void with the tiniest little green me. That would probably be my gender today. Again, we just woke up, so what can you do? But anyways, I think that this episode is going to be a questions episode.
No, we're just talking.
Oh, we're just hanging out?
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Fantastic. Sorry, Lou had to go out.
I had to let the dog out. She also has just woken up.
Yes.
And so she has to use the restroom.
Yeah, and she needed to be escorted.
So, yeah, she needs to be taken outside.
She should walk in front of the camera because Lou also had to walk in front of the camera for...
Okay, so my first question for you, just because I do have a question.
Okay. No, I have a question.
Oh, okay, but I want to ask my question first.
Okay, you ask your question first.
Okay, if a clone was pretending to be me, what question would you ask?
To figure out who's who?
Yeah, to figure out who's who. If this is a Spider-Man situation.
And it was your clone?
Yeah, it's a clone.
Oh, man. I would probably ask... to figure out if it's you. I'm trying to think of like things that like not even the internet could find. Not even like
Wow, so my clone's done like a lot of work.
I would assume that your clone tried to at least made an attempt.
I think if my clone's done a lot of work, they deserve whatever they want.
Yeah, they deserve to live your life.
Yeah, for sure.
What would I ask you, bro? I can't believe I'm blanking so hard on this.
Here, because I want to open the window.
I would ask your clone what your what your skincare routine is.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be like, what do you do for your skin? And if your clone couldn't answer that, I know it's not them.
What would my clone say?
I'm assuming your clone would probably be like, well, I wash my face. And then I'd be like, but where? Diva, where do you wash your face?
And how consistent are you with that?
Exactly.
Was that your goal for this year, to wash your face nightly? And how is that going?
Often? Yeah, exactly.
I think I've only missed 2 days.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, what's important is that it's on your radar. This is a hilarious fucking episode already. Oh my gosh, the chaos that is ensuing right now. There's so much chaos.
There is chaos. There is chaos. But yeah, I've only missed 3 days, and we're at like...
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's about the fact that it's on your radar now, which has made you significantly more consistent than you were last year, right?
Well, to be fair, it's been on my radar for a long time.
Yes.
I was just like, ugh, it's a whole thing. And then this year, that's my goal for the year, is to like be consistent about washing my face.
That's a pretty good goal.
It does help that now we are in a place where we're like having fun with makeup.
Yes.
Which I don't remember. I don't know if we talked about that last episode.
Oh, I don't think we did.
But yeah, like doing like, you used my favorite term for it.
Man repellent?
Yes, that it's man repellent makeup. Okay. And so like doing lots of crazy makeup makes it easier for me to wash my face at the end of the night because I just keep telling myself, because I do get sad every time I wash it.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not because I don't like my face underneath it. It's because I'm like, oh, this is really so pretty.
Yeah.
And I just have to like remind myself that like lots of artists do temporary, like, and technically speaking, all art is temporary. on a long enough timeline. But lots of artists do like temporary things. And so that's all it is. And tomorrow I get to either try again with this thing or do something different.
Absolutely.
So, but it is also helping me like really appreciate the like, just foundation of my face to be like, oh, you're really fun like canvas to paint on.
Yay! Oh my god, that's awesome. It builds a completely different relationship with makeup, I think, to go as unhinged as you want, but also to just build shapes and try things that you never would have tried before. I'm really into like trying to find more abstract makeup looks because like the goal isn't to be like stereotypically beautiful anymore. It's more so to just like bring forth like creativity onto my face. So I'm glad you feel the same way. And also, how beautiful is it to like feel that attachment to that art, that every time you wash your face you're like, oh, bye, but like that just means you get to start a new day over. You know?
I've got to learn how to like take photographs of it that I like
totally. I think that's a hard part too,
because I've been trying to find, I think I just need to find some like decent lighting so that way I can just like catalog them, because like yesterday was like rather simple. It was just like some pinks, and then I have like little face stamps that like have been, they started out like just on the corner of my cheeks, and now they're making it all over my cheeks, and like I like my eyebrow dots. And it just makes it a lot of fun. So it's like kind of just like playing, like you said, where it was like, we're not doing this to like, I'm not doing it to feel beautiful. I'm doing it to like honor like my creativity.
To bring,
and it's a great way of like reminding myself first thing in the morning when I'm putting it on, or before I leave the house when I'm putting it on, to be like, oh, hey, you get to just show up like creatively. And especially as someone who, I don't wear like the most conventional clothes. Sometimes it's quite hard with like conventional makeup, and then like odd looking clothes. I've always felt like a little discombobulated with that, where I'm like, ooh, this feels weird. So to just be allowed to be like, I want a triangle on my eyeball, then like that feels better.
Absolutely. I was going for Poison Dart Frog the other
It was so good.
day, and like I think that like it's honoring like the little nerd in me as well. You know what I mean? Like trying to replicate like things that I've seen in nature as a way to like honor that and know that like it just makes me feel more human and less of my gender, if that makes sense, which is sometimes what I need. I don't always want to, it's exhausting being a woman. Honestly, it's like being perceived that way is like, I wish I could like describe it in a way that our male viewers would like completely like get it. Like I could just insert that information and experience into their heads, so that way they could understand like from the moment that you wake up, it's not even the moment you walk out of the door, you're so like aware of how society is perceiving you via your phone, social media, like the way that people talk to you. It's just constant, just grinding. So it's nice to like kind of take back makeup in a way that like embraces like androgyny as well, and just 100%. Nature. Like it makes me, again, it just makes me feel like more of a human being than like what society perceives my gender as. So.
Well, and because I've found, I don't know if this is true for you, but I've found the weirder it gets, the less of that like male gaze I attract. And I mean, to be fair, I don't attract as much of a male gaze because I don't know, like I don't have that kind of like energy about me that men typically look at me, and it probably has to do with the way I carry myself and also the way I dress, and like also my body and my face isn't like, oh hey, like my face is rather androgynous, that like I'm not getting like looked at the same way that like a more attractive like woman is going to be looked at. So I already have some of that like anonymity, but then to kind of build further on that, where it's like, I don't want to be like perceived in that way. I don't want to be sexualized. I don't want people to look at me like that.
It's also like,
I don't want people to think that like, oh, you're hot.
Yeah,
like
you're not my target audience. And I think it's like reclaiming that, where it's like, this isn't meant for you.
No,
you know, it's not meant for the male gaze.
This is meant for the little kid that's walking down the street that looks at me and goes, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what it's made for.
You know what I've realized too? I've gotten a lot of like smiles from like older women as well. And like it's really like just like joyous smiles as well, where I'm like, oh, I'm like we just had a moment, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Of like, that was cool that like you recognized that like, in that split second, like it was just something that she's never seen before. And she was,
or
like,
she has, and she just hasn't seen it in a while.
And she's
like,
excited to like see that out in the wild, you know? Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I get catcalled. I shouldn't say frequently. I would say the fact that it's happened multiple times is not something that like, that's too frequent.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I also just don't understand it.
Last week I got catcalled. And so it's one of those things where it's like, again, that like that male gaze is so oppressive, and it's just like ever just happening, where like I can't even like walk to work a lot of the times in peace, like as a woman, because I think the way that I dress as well like tends to be a lot more femme, and the way that I did makeup is very femme, and like I would say I just like I lean a lot more towards like my like feminine side, so like to have like weirder makeup like kind of, I don't know, it helps me like bridge that gap a little bit more. But yeah, it's just this exhausting. So
I think it's like another beautiful part about our jobs is that like our jobs allow us, like we don't have to conform to like looking a specific way.
Why aren't we utilizing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because we don't have to like, you know, have any strict rules around like what we're wearing or how we present ourselves, and why we have to like, you know, take that by the balls and like really fucking just go for it.
100%.
What would you ask my clone?
What would I ask your clone?
Yeah, if someone was if my clone was impersonating me, what's a question you would ask my clone to distinguish whether or not?
It's like, I don't think that I would ask your clone this.
Yeah.
I think I would just be like, man, do you think that burger has onions on it?
And the one who says, I love onions.
Yeah. And there's a specific tone in which you say, I love onions. I would know.
That's true.
Or I would be like, holy shit, that bird is really big. And then I would just look at your faces. And the one that got really mad about a big bird, I'd be like, that's you.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good tell. Thank you for that.
I would like know instantly.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, because again, there's this like anger.
There's certain parts of me that
just happens.
More importantly, now let's get to my question, shall we?
More importantly, her question is more important.
Yes, it is. Is it considered gay to have a threesome?
Okay, you're taking this completely out of the fucking context.
What's the context behind it? That's what I walked into.
Well, there was a 5-minute shower conversation before that.
I was not in the shower. I was not privy to this conversation.
Caboose wasn't in the shower either. He was just in the bathroom talking to me while I was taking a shower. And I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how conservatives have made a new ad about trying to overturn Obergefell. And so for anyone who's not in the States, or if you just don't know constitutional law at all, it is the case in which legalized gay marriage and like was written for protections of gay marriage.
Bro,
so
fucking Christ. It's such a hellscape.
So the Conservative Party has made an ad about it, and one of the pundits that I was listening to was saying how like this one particular person who's like in the ad had made gay porn, and then my brain said, I wonder if he means he made like threesome porn. And then I realized that I think that threesome pornography is the same kind of like amorphous thing as, is a hot dog a sandwich? Because everyone has their own opinions of if a hot dog is a sandwich. Now, definitionally, if we broke it down and we said, hey, it's bread, it's meat, you know, this structure, it would be a sandwich.
Yes.
I personally do not consider it to be a sandwich just because I don't know it to be like that. I wasn't raised in that like mentality that it's a sandwich. But if we look at the brass tacks of it, a hot dog is indeed a sandwich.
Right. We've got carbs on the outside. We've got condiments on the inside. And we've got protein at the center for the most part.
Exactly.
I mean, is that not the formula? Is that not it?
And it's got the open sides, so you can't be like, oh, well, then is like a fucking, what is it, like a pizza that's like
a calzone?
Yeah, is a calzone a sandwich? Like,
I mean,
okay,
depends.
So
let's argue about it.
I was thinking that I was like, I think that it works the same way. So then I asked Caboose, and I was like, hey, is is threesome porn like gay porn? And he was like, I don't think so. And then when I brought up the like, okay, well, I think it's the same like level that we won't consider a hot dog to be a sandwich, but structurally speaking, if you have, it would be considered to be not straight.
What is the structure of a threesome and the structure of gay sex that are similar? For me, personally, what I thought was it is a shared sexual experience.
Yes.
With the same gender. So even if you guys are on opposite ends of whoever's in the middle, like, you're still sharing that sex.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a sexual experience. You've both...
And you're both getting the
technically
sex
all
endorphins.
All three of you agreeing to this. So it would be gay sex. So then the amount of, like, I say this in quotations, like, straight, also conservative people that are watching threesome porn thinking that it's not, would be watching gay sex, would be watching queer porn. Like, it's not straight.
And here's the thing. Sexuality is a spectrum, you know? Like, I think it's one of those things where it's just food for thought, right? Food for thought.
Yeah.
I think we ended our answers with, like, I think technically speaking, it would fall under kind of gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Caboose ended it saying that he didn't think that it was as far as, like, gay. No, as far as, like, it's gay porn, but he did not think it was straight. He said it's not straight, but it's definitely not as far as gay porn, because in his, like, straight man logic, the different gendered individual in there, like, because we're going with, like, you know, two genders and a different gender of that, that different gender cancels out the other one, which is wild to me, because that puts it on the same plane of, like, so if I have a threesome, or I have, like, an odd numbered orgy, does it not count as cheating because they cancel each other out? Like, I very much am like, you can't use one person to cancel someone else out.
No, that doesn't...
in experience. No. But that's some straight man logic right there.
I was going to say, everyone in that room engaging is having, like, the sex hormones flooding their brain, right? And they're all again, it's all a shared sexual experience. So, like, I don't think it's straight. I will tell you that. I don't think it's very straight. I think it's...
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my important question of the day. That's it.
That was our, like, big discussion that had me coming out of the bathroom in a towel to be like, is a threesome gay porn? Like, is threesome porn gay porn?
Yeah.
And then all of us standing in the hallway debating it as Caboose is trying to be like, no, it's not. And we're like, I
don't know. Still shared sexual experience. I thought, my bad. I thought the original question was just if threesomes were gay in general, not the porn aspect.
No, it was because the porn, because when he said this particular like person in this ad who's like a political person had been into gay porn, my brain instantly went to threesome porn. So then I was like, oh, you consider threesome porn to be gay porn. And then I realized in that moment, and I was like, I don't think straight men consider that, or, you know, straight people. And some of them might, but I would venture that based on Caboose's argument, and just, like, my guy friends that I know that consider themselves straight, that I know watch, like, threesome porn, they wouldn't consider it to be gay porn. They don't identify as, like, being part of the queer spectrum. And so I'm like, are you profiting from the culture and not, like, protecting and giving back?
Yeah, giving back to the cause.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's typically how that always goes. Let's be honest here. I mean, straight people have taken so much from us. That's it. That's all I want to say about that. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. These are supposed to be couples questions, so I'm going to reword this. It's not going to say seduce me. That's weird. But I just thought they were cute, and that's why I sent them to you the other night when I couldn't sleep. Okay, so if you were trying to win me over, so, like, as a friend, you know, all over again, what would be your move?
Work out with you, obviously.
Oh, obviously. Gosh. That means you're telling the whole world right now how to be my friend.
Well,
you're like, yo, just work out with her.
I mean, no, you can't just work out. You have to actually try, first of all, and you have to actually care about it. I think it was one of our interests that, like, one of our loves that, like, really aligned, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, I had been, I had been doing like YouTube workouts before I went to
That's
the gym
really
with you.
cute.
Because I was
didn't know that. I don't know where you started your fitness journey.
Well, I used to run a lot in high school. I would just like run a mile every other day because I was like, this is easy fitness. Me.
That's how you know you're a runner, my guy.
I don't know. I don't actually like...
You are, because you think that running is easy fitness. Running sucks balls.
Okay, first of all... No,
if you're allowed to like running, I just don't.
Running alone is like, you don't need anything other than yourself, some tennis shoes, and a headphone. That's all you need, right?
Calisthenics, you don't need anything but yourself, and you don't even have to wear shoes.
That's true. That is true. That is true. I think that like... I don't know if I like enjoy it as much as like when it's in a CrossFit workout, the running is my least favorite part.
Yeah.
Because like I can't, but when it's running on its own, like at least I could just like go off and fuck off and then come back. You know what I mean? Like it's not, but that's how that
makes you
started.
A runner.
And then I started getting like really fluffy during my like apprentice years because I was like fucking just like trying to deal with the workload and like figuring it out. And also that's just kind of what happens when you're a teenager and you have like access to your own money and you're just eating like shit and you don't have the consequences. And there's a lot of like, I remember asking you this as an apprentice, like, hey, social media or whatever, like people always tell me to just like eat as much junk food as I want when I'm younger. Like, is that even like a real thing? Like, should I do that? And you were like, no, don't do that. I was like, thank you for saying that. Because like, well, that's the thing is like so many of my like my parents said the same thing. Social media said the same thing where it's just like, just eat fast food now while you can. And I was like, I feel like that's not like.
I think that there's a balance in between that, which is that eat fast food when you're young and enjoy the fact that you do not have the immediate physical consequences. And I'm talking immediate right now. I'm not talking about heart disease. I'm not talking about damage to your like cells.
We're talking about like the bloating.
The bloating. I'm talking about the like, the nausea that comes, the headache that comes, the like inflammation that you feel when you eat that same stuff as you get older. Especially if you're in tune with your body, you feel that a lot more. If you're just chronically inflamed because you're chronically eating like inflammatory foods and you're eating like food-like products and not whole foods. And again, no shame. That's on you. That's totally fine. But I think that like you should just enjoy it for the fact that it doesn't have this like negative effect on your body. But that you should just eat whatever the fuck you want to eat forever.
Totally.
But you should just try to eat more whole foods.
Oh yeah.
Then not be like, yo, eat a whole bunch of donuts now because you can't later. You just can't eat as many donuts later.
You had told me, you're like, no, don't like, because like the way that it was told to me was like, yeah, just gorge yourself now while you can. And like the way you told me, it was like, no, the earlier you start building like healthier habits, then the more set up you'll be like later in life. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
That's a wise bitch right there.
For real. And then I started doing like YouTube workouts. And it was like kind of like Grow with Joe-esque, but it was just like, just like dance workouts were really fun. They had like lots of squats. It was always to like female rap music. Like,
I love that.
So me. And then you started doing like Women of Iron, and I was like, hey, I don't want to step on your toes, but like, would it be okay if I like came by? Like, how do I do that?
I remember you asking me, like, if it was okay. And I was like, I don't understand the question. Like, why wouldn't it be?
And I was like, well, because we work together. I'm like your apprentice. Like, I don't want it to be like I don't know if this is like a you thing or if like it was like open for like everyone. But I didn't know if you wanted to cross the worlds, And then like I started showing up and I loved it. And like, it was like,
because there's nothing better than flipping a tire or pulling a car.
Oh, for sure. It like builds so much confidence. Like, I really wish that like more young women had the opportunity to do that, and more young queers had the opportunity to do that, which is like building that like trust and love in your body that early. But yeah, that's how I started fitness. And I genuinely enjoyed it. But yeah, in order to be your friend, I shouldn't say in order to be your friend. People don't have to work out to be your friend. But like, I think that like, that was one of the things that really set us up for like success. Because then we got to like move together and then we got to like bond together.
Yeah, 100%.
Because some of those workouts were so hard that I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, I see why people like work out together now, because like it's such an intimate thing to be like, we just went through the same workout.
Yes.
And that shit kicked our ass. Like,
yeah. I think like that's what CrossFit did that to me. Because I had done fitness classes and I'd done like silly body lifting or body building stuff and like weight training and
yeah. Because how did your fitness journey start?
I joined a like young weightlifting group, like not like Olympic weightlifting. I fucking wish I would have started that forever ago. I actually wish, and this is what I tell so many parents is I'm like, if you can get your kid into gymnastics, get your kid into gymnastics. Like it teaches them kinesthetic awareness, like beyond belief. That I wish that I had that. But yeah, I think I was probably lived in Sumter at the time, so I was like 12. And on base they had little like youth groups, and one of them would go to the gym and you could like just, you know, with free weights and machines and like work out. And I loved it because it was like mixed. So it was like boys and girls and, you know, non-binary people. And I saw how pissed off the boys would get if I could lift the same amount as them. And I was like, let's go, bitches.
Did that change your world forever? You're like, wait a second.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, because they went from like calling me pretty and like being like, you know, that young preteen flirtiness.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm not interested in this. Like, I want to be Scary Spice. Like, I don't want your attention. But then if you could lift the weights, the girls liked you as well.
Yep.
And so then I realized that I could just like lift the same amount as the boys, but then I could still talk to the girls and I could have like conversations with them that the boys couldn't have, because like I could go in the girls' bathroom and chat with them.
Period.
So we got to have all these conversations that the guys were not privy to. And it really like solidified that I was like, oh, I want to be like strong. But then around that same time is really when you had like this like backlash of like Britney Spears and her tiny little belly was like, oh my God, she's fat and like you need to be skinny. And so I battled this idea of like, I want to be strong. So I'd always liked working out, but I also I need a flat stomach to be like happy in my life, and I need to be skinny. And so I like battled that. So then I would go in and just lift weights. My mom was really big into Taekwondo at the time, so I did Taekwondo, and I only like that because again, you can like beat up boys.
You started your journey always challenging gender norms, which is great.
because when you spar with like another like woman or with like a female, it's like a skill for skill. Like there was not a single like sparring like thing or competition in which I felt like another woman was mad at me for beating her, or that I was ever upset at like a chick. But the guys would make all sorts of comments about like, oh, well, I can't hit her because she's a girl. And it was just like the amount of misogyny that's like laced into that like world of like weightlifting and
totally.
And like martial arts. And because I had already lived with pain, like I've had chronic pain my whole life, I was like, you can hurt me and I just won't show it. Like, that's fine. Fucking kick the shit out of me and I'm just going to act like you did nothing. And even though like later I'm going to feel like I'm damn near pissing blood, I don't care to show you because I'm not going to show you one. And so then it like, if I beat the guys, then it was not just that one dude would be upset. It's that the rest of them would perceive me as a threat. And then I was like, okay, this is like fun though, because you guys are so fragile about it that like when you beat a woman, you're just like, good job. That's it. Like she beat you. You're like, hell yeah, she's obviously better than me. But if you beat a dude, oh my God, their whole fucking world crumbles. And like, as like a young, you know, in my like early teenage years, like that was great. Because I had only had brothers to have competition with. And again, I was raised in that same sense that like anything I was better at, they would just fucking rag on me so hard for, where it's like when you get into something, you're like, oh, wait, I'm actually quite strong, and watching their whole worlds crumble because they naturally say, okay, girl, can't be strong.
Totally.
It's like the fucking best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then as I got into like then, you know, I just kept doing like classes, and I would gear towards like kettlebell and TRX, and I liked all those types of stuff. And I would still spend like an hour on a fucking elliptical, always trying to just stay skinny. And then I got into CrossFit because Caboose was doing CrossFit, and I didn't want to be his out of shape wife. I wanted to make sure that we were like competing for who was hotter in the relationship, and then it wasn't like, oh, he gets to walk around with a six pack and I don't. And I fucking hated it in the beginning. It was so hard.
Man.
And I cried so much. It was awful. The learning curve for CrossFit is so high in the beginning.
For sure. The barrier of entry is like very high.
Yeah. There's just so much to learn that you're like, fuck me, dude.
Yeah. Like every single movement you're thinking, especially when you first start out, every single movement you're thinking about a million different things.
Yeah.
And like on top of that, you're just kind of combating against like the strength that you have.
Yeah.
So it's like while you're trying to build strength, you're still fighting against like remembering all the technique, but also like knowing that you might not be 100% strong enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like still, it's a really challenging way to start. So
I think that like a lot of people go into it and they're like, okay, but it's because you walk into the gym and you assume that everyone in there knows what they're doing, and not that every other person is on their own personal journey.
Yeah.
That they are also trying to learn stuff. So like you'll look and be like, oh my God, but look at how much weight she's moving over there. Yeah, but she might not be shit pull-ups, and that's her big goal is pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like,
or this workout might just be like all of her favorite movements.
Yeah.
That's why she's moving like
that was
so
me the other
quick.
day. All my favorite movements. Overhead squats.
We had
wall walks.
That was literally the opposite of my favorite workout. And I was like, it's okay, Callie. You're just here to move. And like, just remember, like, today for you is a technique day, and you just keep moving, because I was so over it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you still beat the version of yourself that would have stayed home. So there's that.
100%.
Yeah. So you hated CrossFit when you started, but
yeah, I simultaneously hated it and loved it.
Yeah.
Because I kept coming back. But I would leave out of class crying, like
totally.
It was so fucking hard because I had never pushed myself in that like kind of like strenuous, like was always like really good at the kettlebell classes and TRX classes, but it's a very like, and like Pilates type things, but it was very like maintained. It isn't this like switching between like high reps, moderately heavy weight, and then like having to just switch muscle groups really quickly, and didn't require like coordination the way that like it does. So in the beginning, it was like really hard. And I also was at a gym that like, though they laid in some really good foundations, wasn't like the gym we're at now, CrossFit 3216. Is really kind, and I was not at a particularly kind gym. I was at a gym where it was like, get it right. What are you doing?
For sure.
Like it was outside of a military base. The owner was a longtime like Navy guy. And so it was very like, very, well, I was going to say very like shame ridden, where it was like, they celebrated your wins, but it was also like, if you didn't get it, they would be mad. And so having that like kind of laid in there was pretty hard. And I think had I started in a kinder place, that would have been like a better way to do it. But most of my early stuff, like my Taekwondo instructor, was the same way, where it was like very like misogynistic in the way that it was presented as like, if you got it wrong, you're going to be shamed, and not that like, oh, we're all learning and we're all growing. And I think that's also the difference now. Like we've been talking about that with you going back to the gym, and like we talked about it when I started back at the gym about 6 months ago, was that the difference as you get older and you have, you know, been reparenting yourself and like having that kindness, is to be like, no, I'm here to just move my body and express and like show gratitude for it, and not to be like shamed. And the gym we are at does that, where no one's in there like mad that like I still can't fully put weight on my hand. Like everyone is so kind and is celebratory for your wins, but also is celebrating just the like journey of getting to where you want to go. So if you miss a lift, no one's like, oh, well, you fucking missed it. Brr, brr, brr. So I think it makes it easier for our brains to also not repeat that rhetoric.
Yeah, I think that like when I first had started, it was definitely harder because I didn't have that like self-parenting that I have now.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to like start over with like kinder eyes and like a kinder voice to myself, because like yeah, I think it's hard when you're at a gym where a lot of people are kind of like expecting you to like always redline and like compete at your fullest. And here I feel like a lot more comfortable with just letting myself like have fun. Yeah. I feel like I'm more so prioritizing like I am prioritizing form, but overall I am prioritizing making sure that I have fun during a workout. So that way it like keeps me wanting to come back. Yeah. Because I'm like, if I'm going out of like anger or shame, like of course it's not going to last. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So. Yeah.
And I think that's something that I like, is that like now being able to find that like joy of it, to be like, no, it's meant for fun. Like, yeah. We do a ton of like upside down work there. So we do like wall walks and handstand walks. And I still can't handstand walk, but it's the closest I've ever been. And now I'm in a place where I'm like, oh no, I want to like be able to practice this because I'm watching so many other people just have fun doing it.
Totally.
Okay. What's a memory from before we met that you'd love me to have witnessed? This is deep, you guys. Fucking deep.
Boy. Is a good memory. Can't really think of much, if I'm going to be honest with you.
What do you want to think while I talk to them really fast?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I realized? This podcast is just you guys watching me drink beverages. I drink so much stuff on this like podcast that if I were to like go in and like clip all of the times in which I'm just drinking out of the like, I don't know, I think we have like 180 some odd episodes. It would probably be like several hours of me with just a cup at my mouth, just constantly. I think about that because I don't ever watch like podcasts. I only ever listen to them, but I think about like, man, these
How
people.
How many clips of you just sipping?
Yeah, just drinking stuff, just being like, hey, I have to lubricate my throat.
I think the memory now that we're ending on lubricating your throat, the memory that I would have liked for you to have witnessed is actually, probably the first time I ever stood up for myself with my grandma.
Oh my God, I would have loved that.
Yeah, I live with like such an evil grandma. And so what happened was I was training Samson. He was our family dog and he was still a puppy. My family home had like a really big set of stairs going upstairs, and our puppy didn't have the confidence to like walk up them yet.
Can I explain to them what that means?
Yeah, totally.
You guys think Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's that type of staircase.
Yeah, I grew up
like
in
a grand
really
fucking
big,
staircase.
Yeah, I grew up in a really big house.
Yeah, a McMansion, like very fancy, like 30-foot ceilings, like insane. It was a moment of a staircase. Okay, yeah. I just need to give them that. Absolutely. So they're not picturing like a normal straight staircase, but they're picturing like a spiral.
It's like almost a full spiral kind of staircase. Yeah, I grew up
fancy pants.
I grew up very fancy. Anyways.
Yes.
So I was trying to train my puppy how to walk up the stairs, which is a process. And like basically what I would do is like I took a bunch of his treats and I just put it in like a it was literally like a grocery bag. It wasn't a Ziploc bag. It was just the shitty like Winco grocery plastic bags. So I put them in there for whatever reason because I think that like, maybe it was kibble. Because like obviously I couldn't take the entire bag of kibble 100%. Out. And so like I was like feeding him treats as he would walk like up the stairs, and we made it like almost like to the top. And my grandma started like just berating me and being like, I don't like know why you're wasting money by putting dog food in like a bag. And I was like, because to her, like,
yeah, she saw a fucking Ziploc bag.
It wasn't even Ziploc.
Yeah, but it's also the fact that like you guys, the fucking culture around saving,
totally,
like bags is wild.
Yeah.
Especially because we're not saving them because we're like trying to do less harm to the planet.
No, it's just saving money, allegedly. And so
yeah, for pennies.
She was just being like, she was just railing into me. Like, to the point where, like, I mean, obviously I've been really open about, like, I grew up in a really emotionally abusive household as well.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where, like, she, like, it was just inappropriate how angry she was and, like, how much she was, like, yelling at me. And I just remember, like, I think I was in middle school or something, but, like, I just saw, oh no, I was, like, early high school. I saw red. And I've never had access to that kind of rage before. Like, that's, like, literally the only time in my life I've ever seen red.
Yeah.
And I just stood up and I was like, why don't you mind your own fucking business?
Yeah.
And she was like, what'd you say to me? And I was like, did I fucking stutter? Like, I literally just popped off. I was like, shut up. It's literally just a Winco bag. Did I stutter? And then I like took my puppy and I like walked into my parents' room and fucking slammed the door. And like, I was just like in there shaking, right, with my puppy and like trying to tell me he did a good job.
Yeah.
But like I was shaking because like I've again never had that kind of access to rage before. And like, I remember writing this like whole big letter about how like my grandma makes me wish I could run away. Like, I wish I could never see her again. And I gave it to my parents and they read it to her. Yeah.
Okay. Cunty of them to read it.
Very
Also,
cunty.
I'm not a professional.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Don't think, probably not the best advice I would give. Yeah. I think that's where, like, they should definitely have a conversation about overstepping boundaries, about what anger looks like, about, like, where, like, you are a teenager and she doesn't get to fucking berate you. Where she was inappropriate in that moment. Probably not reading it to her because that's not going to help any sort of relationship that you guys ever want to have.
No, definitely not. And like, I didn't.
But also,
give my
fuck yes to you.
No, totally. I didn't like know that they were going to read it to her either.
That's unhinged.
Yeah, very unhinged. But yeah, I wish you were there to experience it because it was awesome. And I still think about that to this day.
Amazing.
I'm like, man, like, I've never had access to, like, anger is, like, a really unfamiliar emotion for me in terms of, like, I still struggle with, like, letting myself feel angry. And yeah, so I wish you were there to see that.
That's amazing. That's really good.
Right,
I would have been like, push her down the stairs. Push her down the stairs.
For real.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. I like that.
Do you have any memories that you wish I would have experienced?
I would say, fuck. There's like so many. I've had a long life. Probably just like my dad when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I'd like for you to have like experienced, if I can pick both, like both dads, like to have seen like Hedge. I think Hedge, the first time I ever said that he was my dad.
So sweet. That story makes me cry every time.
That one. And then my dad at DeLeon Springs down in Florida. Yeah, just like when he would like go swimming with us. Is just one of those like really sweet things that like I think just gives a lot of like insight into me.
Totally.
Because otherwise I think a lot of other aspects, like I don't, that's like the sweet side that like most people don't get to see those parts. That obviously you were privy to. But otherwise I'm like, pretty much everything else like an open book.
Yeah.
Around
totally.
like, I'll talk about like, my parental trauma and shit like that. I'm like, that's like, I feel like you've already been through there for those.
For sure.
But I think it would be nice to be like, here's a nice memory. And that way you could have seen my actual like dad.
Bio dad.
Bio dad. And then you could have seen Hedge when like, that's the person I picture.
Yeah, that's the person you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. Wow. Or the first time that he let me wear his leather jacket when we were down in DeLand.
That's pretty cool.
And I got to wear it. And it was, I'm fucking 10, 11, and it's huge on me. Just very silly looking. But I felt so cool.
I bet. Oh, that's really sweet.
Especially as like a little young baby
like that.
gay.
I picked a moment of anger and you were like, here are all these sweet moments. That was the only moment that came to my head.
Yeah, but that's again, like, that's the moment for me where I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I think it's representative for like who we are and how we like see ourselves is that I definitely see myself as a more angry person. And so to show you like kind moments in my life.
Yeah.
And then you are a very kind and gentle person to show like a place in which you had like the resilience and like displayed anger, I think is probably why we are like, hey, I want to show you this part that like you don't have access to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, you have access to kindness. I think that like, I don't know, it's just nice to be able to see the softer moments. But like, yeah, I think that was a good way to put it, because I don't think I've ever gone off on anyone like that before in my life since that moment. And that was like early teen days. So I don't know what that says.
That was good. That's good though. Okay, well that's all I had for those questions. Did you have anything else for me?
I wanted to ask you, since this is like, I just feel like bitching right now.
Yeah, bitch. That's what they're here for.
I want to ask you, what makes you tired? Like, what makes you like
emotionally? The fucking patriarchy.
Patriarchy, bro.
The fucking constantly having to dismantle, just the entire structure of patriarchy and racism within myself and within the larger world. Part of me is like energized by it to be like, oh, hey, like I watched this great reel about how like we cut men's hair and like little boys, we cut their hair because it removes the softness of them and teaches them to like conform to this very strict, rigid, like gender norm. And I've always been like, it's a running joke that I'm always like, oh yeah, like boys need to have short hair. I also prefer women have short hair, but you know, but like learning that to be like, wow, that's like a pervasive misogynistic thought that lives within me and like from the patriarchy that like, yeah, men can't have soft things, so they can't have this like free, you know, freedom. And how like that plays within me. But even like when we're making decisions for the business, like breaking down like what companies we work with and
oh my god, yeah,
like the representation.
About, like, I had a moment where I had to ask you, I'm like, I'm sorry to say this, I need you to be like my moral like feminist like compass right now, because I'm like faltering, like I'm feeling weak in that, and like I have my own biases and all this stuff, but like it's nice to know that like I trust you, like you're my business partner, you're my platonic life partner, like it's nice to know that we can rely on each other like that. But it is fucking exhausting being like, again, I have to deprogram my own misogyny and like have to like essentially outsource, like I'm feeling weak here, like I'm sorry, I need help carrying this, like what are we gonna do here? It's fucking exhausting. We shouldn't have to do that in society. We should just be, I should just be able to like know what's right and what's wrong without all of this like gross, like subtle misogynistic like traits where like, again, I'm trying to decenter men as well. Men are not the target audience anymore. I'm not trying to be like some dude's favorite fucking podcaster, tattooer. I'm not trying to be some dude's favorite woman. I don't care anymore. I'm done. I am done. I'm over it. We're decentering men 2026.
Well, I think for me, it really helped, like, when we had that realization, when we were talking about our bodies. Now, we previously discussed this a little bit on here, about how it was like, okay, so I loved my breasts the most for so long because it was the first part of me that was ever recognized by a man.
Oh my God, yeah.
And having that,
so stupid. Having
that realization of, like, but how much of what I like about myself is because men praised it, and then working, like, against that. So it's like, you know, I don't care about being men's favorites. And again, there's always been a part of me that's pushed against that. You know, that's why like those, like the stories from earlier, like that's always been a huge part of me, is to be like, but I don't want you to want me. And then that's been this exhausting thing my whole life, because then the entire narrative through all of movies, through everything comes back to like, but you are like meant to be desirable. You are meant to be pleasant. You want people to like you. You want men in particular to like you, because like, again, like you said, you wake up and it's automatically thinking about like the male gaze. It's thinking, okay, how will I be perceived in this? And it's not even the sense of like,
what other beauty standard is going to be applied to me today? You know, as the times change, like we were in the Kim Kardashian era,
and my butt was never big enough.
And then now we're back into the cocaine skinny era. era, where it's like we're looking for thigh gaps, we're looking for your collarbones to stick out, we're looking for like your ribs to stick out of your chest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bro, it is so exhausting.
And I think it's like also like when we talk about ourselves, like deconstructing it is like where women are holding that up. And I think that's like something that like we've been discussing a lot lately is like how movies play that part and like rewatching films that we loved and being like, oh, this is the like moral coding of this. And like, oh, this is why we like these type of films, but we're not drawn to these is because like, you know, I don't particularly love a lot of horror because most horror, and this is great because it was backed up by a phenomenal feminist podcaster talking about how so many horror movies are so much more violent with women than they are with men. And God, oftentimes there's a very sexual undertone.
Oh, you guys need to, it is so good. Pay attention to how much violence is portrayed on each character and if they are equal. And on top of that, I don't mean equal as in they both die. It's the amount of violence. Yeah, the level of gore, the level of violence, and also the way in which they're tortured before they die. So many movies, oh my God, blatantly show us hating women via them getting strangled. Even if it's like a final girl situation, they're consistently getting punished and strangled and fucking, it's awful.
And you're just watching them get harmed over and over and over. And it's like, as much as people love to be like, no, I love that like type of film, like ask yourself like why. And also that we know this. We know that we get desensitized to things. So like what benefit comes from being desensitized to violence against women?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Like, how
much are we normalizing again the violence against women? And we watched a spectacular movie the other day. It was I forgot the title.
In the theater?
In the theater.
Send Help?
Send Help with what's her name?
Rachel McAdams.
Thank you, Rachel McAdams. And the amount of silence in that theater in that particular moment.
Yeah, in particular, Caboose pointed this out when we were leaving, was the amount of times that, like, because it is a female rage movie, and is it the world's best movie? No. But is it a silly goose good time? Yes. But the jokes that would have gone the other way, that if you would have swapped genders, as so many movies are, which is a man torturing a woman.
Totally. Oh my God.
Yeah, then you laugh at those jokes, but when you flip them around, only some women were laughing, but no men were laughing at those jokes. But when they were making fun of the female character, lots of men were laughing. And so, like, when we were driving home, we were all talking about it, and Caboose had pointed it out. He's like, do you notice that, like, any time that she was the victor and, like, women laughed or a joke was made on that man's behalf?
Brother.
Not a single dude laughed. And, like, it was just so, like, I don't know, pervasive in that, like, theater to be like, wow, yeah, that's seriously, like, just, I guess we just don't think that women are funny or that we don't like jokes that are on behalf of men.
Yeah, we're uncomfortable with the power dynamic being switched. Like, and by we, I mean men are. Like, all the women were laughing because we're like, oh my God, this, like, never happens.
But to be clear, I don't think it is just men. I think that there's still the women that are participating in it because not all the women laughed either.
Oh, fair.
Some of the women didn't laugh and you would hear them laughing at the same time. And it could be because they were there with men, so they didn't want to laugh at those points. But it is that, like, upkeep of the patriarchy that women also do.
Yeah, that have to participate in order to, like...
that are participating in order to survive.
Yeah, again, it's that, like... It's so... I'm also exhausted of, like, women having to police other women in order to fit into the patriarchy. And, like, a lot of the times they don't even fucking know it.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting. And it's so hard. And it's heartbreaking. And it's just...
Well, it's that proximity to power. So it's the same thing with, like, what white people do is, and in particular, white women do this, where it's that proximity to power because white men are seen as, like, the top of the totem pole. So if I just agree with him, if I am on his side, then I am safer than anyone who in the societal structure is seen as less than that. So I am going to police every single person below me, but I'm not going to say or do anything to him. And so I'm going to tell women, like, what to wear, how to act, like, what they need to do. And I'm also going to, like, what we were talking about the other day where you had to be like, hey, I need you to hold like my feminist boots here for a second, because like I can feel that like the opinion of like men are affecting like how I want to like operate our business.
My
like,
vision is clouded right now because like I can't see a straight line at that point, because I'm clouded in fear of the rejection of men specifically, where it's like, and that's like, so it makes me so angry that like I have that and I carry that with me when I'm like, okay, you need to remember, like, these are not your fucking target audience. This is not your target audience. They don't pay your fucking bills. They'll never see you as an equal. They hardly ever see you as a human being. Like, bro, we are decentering men. Keep decentering men, but it is not something that you can just turn off. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that, like, because it's years and years and years of programming, it's going to take me years and years of deprogramming. Fuck. It's exhausting.
Absolutely.
It is so...
And I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that I'm lucky because, like, there is that part of me that didn't fit into this gender norm of femininity. So I've always, like, pushed men's buttons just by existing. Not even intentionally, but I'm just like, oh, you're technically the strongest person here. Okay, I want to see if I can beat you because I want to, like, just have competition. Beating someone who's weaker than me is not fun. So let's see if I can, like, get better and how far I can, like, go.
Totally.
And that has always been a threat. So my general existence irritates a lot of, like, men, in particular, like those that really subscribe to the patriarchy. It fucking kills them. So I have never had to carry that, like, weight of, like, oh, I want them to like me. Because, like, in particular with our industry, male tattoo artists don't like me. Like, the most I get is they like me because I'm one of the boys.
Yeah.
But they're not looking at my work the same way they look at, like other men's work. And we talk about that, about the like, double standards that exist.
A dude will show up with half the talent that either of us have and go so much farther.
Yeah.
It's so fucking infuriating. It is nuts.
Yeah. It's the same way that we were talking again about the movie Send Help, where it was just like, I didn't think it was, like, amazing, but because we don't get enough female rage movies, because we don't get movies where the woman is the competent survivalist, that the woman is the one that's, like, educating and teaching.
Yeah, we don't get movies where, like, the man depends on the woman for survival. And
yeah,
like,
we don't get films like that. And so even if it's not a great film, we're like, holy shit, I'm just so happy that, like, they've done it. Whereas he's able to look at it as, like, okay, but he's able to look in that sense of, like, oh, but there are better movies than this. But there's no other movies like this where women are leading. So we don't get to see ourselves in any roles, because the most we can do, which is why we have patriarchy in the structure that we do, is be like, okay, so I can just try to relate to the dude in this story. Like, that's it. Like, you're just teaching me to try to pretend to be a man. And not that, like, no, women are just as capable and competent at survival and at teaching. And men are also, and I think, like, personally, I think the reason why so many men didn't like it is because men have this inherent belief, and I'm talking in, like, general terms. So if you're finding yourself to be offended that you're like, I don't, I'm talking in the overall structure of, like, what the patriarchy teaches men, and it's that they are stronger than women and that they are more capable than women. So to show a movie that flips that says this man has to survive, or has to depend on her to survive, is a, like, skull fuckery moment for so many dudes that are like, that's not realistic. And that's what, like, so many of the reviews of the film say, is that it's, well, that's not realistic. I'm sorry. Do you think Castaway is realistic?
There's
Do you think Wilson's real?
Do y'all not watch Survivor? There are plenty of women who are able to do this. Like, I think that's the thing, is, like, they're so shut off to the idea that, like, women can exist out of the box that they try to put us in. That, like, this would never happen. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I have met more men that I've had to teach how to use a drill than I haven't. And that says a lot. So that's all I wanted to say. Y'all need to figure it out. I'm over it. It's tired. It's dumb. It's giving low intelligence. It's giving low effort. Like, it's just so like, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah. So I just wanted to bitch about that for a second because I'm exhausted. I'm carrying a very tired, heavy heart today, and I'm tired of being a woman. And I just want to have fun, and I just want to lift big weights, and I just want to be left alone. My God, you guys are exhausting.
Not you guys, listeners.
Not you guys, sorry.
The structure.
Just the patriarchy is exhausting. So,
amazing. Yeah. Okay, so on that note, what is your win for the week?
Oh, well, the week has just begun, hasn't it? I think my win for the week has got to be staying consistent with my protein all this week. I've been really good at hitting my protein. So
nice.
Feels good to be back on track. There was a couple days that like I fell a little short, but I'm not like as like upset about it as I feel like I normally would be. Normally that would like completely steer the course off, and I'd be like, well, why do... Like, I feel like normally that would be enough for me to just stop tracking altogether throughout the week, but then I didn't stop. I just kept going. So that feels nice. It feels good to have that habit again. How about you? What's your win?
I was bored the other day and like low on dopamine, and like again we've been working a lot, and I'm like getting to a place of like burnout, and then I was like, oh, I'm angry and bored and hot. We should go to the movies and see this movie I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
So just like advocating for like doing something of like joy.
Yes.
That was purely just like frivolous and like didn't have like a goal. So
absolutely.
That's my win for the week.
That's a pretty good win.
Nice. Okay, we are still early on in the day. It is not even fucking 10:30. So today, what are you proud of?
You know what? I'm proud of being honest. I'm proud of like being able to have a platform where I can talk about like I struggle with being a feminist, and I think that like that's very realistic. I think a lot of people struggle with like again trying to find equality in their own brains. And I'm really proud of just being honest about that. It's hard. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time, and I feel like that's why a lot of men are kind of not open to the idea of feminism, because again they set the standard of themselves that it has to be perfect, and I'm a woman and it's not perfect in my own brain. But yeah, I'm just really proud of being able to talk about that. It's complex. Everything's very complex, so
that's great.
What are you proud of?
At
10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, at 10:30 in the morning. I am proud that even though I was like groggy and hadn't had coffee, was like, yo, we're going to get this thing done early. So that way we can, I knew that we didn't go into this podcast with like a structure per se. I did want to ask you the silly questions.
Oh, for sure.
Which I got. But I just wanted to get on and again, like you just talk about like the patriarchal structure and like what we've been going through and what we're dissecting within our lives. And so I am proud as well that we're able to talk about that and to be able to be honest and vulnerable about the fact that like, yeah, it's hard and it's exhausting and it's frustrating and we're dismantling these beliefs within ourselves. And also like around us and talking to people around us about it.
Absolutely.
Because it's not easy. A lot of people feel attacked. Like, it's different when you take it upon yourself to be like, hey, I'm seeking out this knowledge so I can deconstruct it. And then even with that, I'll have to watch like films and be like, fuck. So that's why like, the old crone is like such a fucking trope in horror movies is because we hate older women.
Yeah.
And like we want to demonize them.
Oh my God, you guys, I was so disappointed. I loved Weapons, loved it. And then I realized that like, again, they're kind of just... Everyone wanted Aunt Gladys, and everyone thinks Aunt Gladys is a gay icon, and she's a diva, and in some ways she is, but like they're overtly making fun of us and overtly punishing us in front of our own eyes. She is the woman who is cast as the protagonist, antagonist. I don't know, evil person.
Yeah, the antagonist. Yep.
And it is again like a very subliminal way to teach society that like independent older women that dress like the way they want to dress, that are colorful, their personalities are colorful, they will ultimately get punished because she died in the most like gruesome way. And like again, what
No, you're good. I'm going to build off of that.
No, just build off of
that. And I think, like, if you're like, no, she's like a diva, then A, they wouldn't have killed her.
Yeah, totally.
And if you're like, no, it has nothing to do with, like, them making fun of, like, queer or, like, individualistic people, I would ask you to rewatch the film and pay attention to the most gruesome,
like, graphic,
violent deaths. And that would be of the queer, like, men in that film.
Yeah.
Because the only death that is overtly just graphic and did not need to be as graphic as it is. But again, if you made all the rest of the deaths that graphic, I would go for it. I'd be like, okay, dope. But the one that they had the most screen time was the Asian man. So,
the Asian
like,
gay man.
Yeah, the Asian gay man has the most, like, torture and graphic death. And that is that, like, yeah, so we still as a society think that this person should be punished. Yeah. And that's why we're punishing them in films. It's that
subliminal message of, like, this person is not correct, so therefore you will be punished. And, like, pay attention to what happens to queer characters. Pay attention to what happens to female characters.
Yeah, the same as, like, the chick that's, you know, tortured throughout it from... I just forgot what fucking show she was in.
She was in Ozarks.
Ozark, yeah. Her whole structure is that she's, you know, an adulteress. So therefore, this awful thing that is happening, she deserves it because she is an adulteress. She is tempting a man outside of his marriage. And of course, like, and this is spoilers if you haven't seen it, but whatever, at this point, you're already in here. And then the guy who commits adultery also dies. And so it is still promoting these, like, patriarchal and Christian values of if you go outside of your marriage, that's deserving of death. If you are an adulteress, that is deserving of, like, death or punishment. If you are old, the only thing you want is youth, which is not the case. But it's this, like, idea that, like, old people, and in particular old women, want to harm children so they can have youth again. Yeah. And that still falls into that sense of, we think that, like, being young is the most important thing that you could be, and that they would do anything to stay young, which is, again, not true. If you speak to older women, they're not like, you know what I really wish? I wish I could be a child again. No, but it is that case of, like, kind of learning these structures and, like, how it plays out within our media and what we're consuming, and pointing it out and having discussions around, like, man, that really sucks.
Yeah. It's okay to be like, it's okay to realize that what you had loved, like, isn't, like, morally what you stand for. Because that's the thing, is, like, I loved Weapons. And then watching it over a second time, I was, like, deeply disturbed. And I was like, dude, this director's got some serious daddy and mommy issues. Oh, yeah.
Massive, like, daddy
very
issues.
Very dark. Like, very... I'm... Keep an eye on him in the next coming years. I would not be surprised if some wild case came out and he was a fucking psycho. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah. And if you're like, wait, no mommy issues, notice that the women in that, in particular the mother role, only speaks about, like, did you clean up? Did you do this? Like, it is placed in that nag role.
I'm sure it's got to fail the fucking...
Bechdel test?
Yeah, it's got to fail the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
Adversely, you know what passes the reverse Bechdel test? Is the old Barbie movies that were made for kids. Every single man in the movies only speaks in relevance to a woman. It's the reverse.
That's really cute. So that passes the Bechdel test.
Passes the reverse Bechdel test? Is all the old Barbie movies.
Test. I think it just passes the Bechdel.
Oh, okay. Even applying to men? Men speaking only in relevance to women? Nice. Yeah, so the old Barbie movies apparently passes all of that.
That's amazing.
Is fucking awesome. So
yeah, The Hunt also passes. Nice. So that's another great film about female rage, and is also hilarious.
Yeah, so just just pay attention to what happens to our female characters, what happens to our queer characters, what happens to our older characters as well. I think Hollywood is really good at painting, like, older people out to be, like, this evil, sinister, like, entity in our lives. Which is, like, A, it's gross because we're dehumanizing them. B, we're all gonna get old. Hopefully, that's, like, the goal, right? Fucking...
Yeah, and so the obsession with youth is only there to harm you and to not make you appreciate your life or like the people who have come before you who know the lessons.
I think it's also meant to silence like our older generation when they're at the like, you know, ending portion of their lives with all of this wisdom of like, I wish I didn't worry about this. They're silencing those voices so that way they can still make money off of you now.
100%.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that was great. Okay, perfect. So thank you so much. We will see you guys back next week where we're going to talk about... Oh, actually, I do know what we're going to talk about. So next Monday will be exactly 1 year that we landed in New Zealand.
Holy shit!
So we'll do a 1 year recap of like life here and like how it's going, how we want it to go, how we're excited about the upcoming elections this year because the government here also sucks.
Yep.
Not as bad as America. Good luck, America.
Good luck.
We love you. Bye.
Artlist.io